In the heart of Venice, and in fact every part, you're going to find shops much like this one where you can buy a mask. Now these masks from Venice date back to the early days of the Republic. Let me explain how this all happened. This is not starting with Halloween like in the United States, but a whole different reason why these masks became part of the Venetian culture. Venice was a republic, and in fact everyone in the republic enjoyed prosperity. They understood the idea of the economic market, and so they traded with all people all across the world. Spices, cloth, everything you can imagine. So the citizens of Venice in this republic became very wealthy, almost all of them. But they also had an unusual sense of justice. You would kind of tell on each other. And in fact, in the United States, we call this tattletale. If you knew of someone who made a mistake or did something wrong, you told on them. And throughout the city, there were these people called spies and these enforcers who would go around and say, hey, do you know anything about this guy or that guy? And everyone loved to be clandestine, and so they started wearing these masks. And in fact, you wore a mask and it hid who you were. So at nighttime you could walk the street, nobody knew what you were doing, who you were. You could be a slave, you could be a noble person. Everyone wore masks. Well, later they made a law that you could only wear these masks for such a long time, a certain period of time, from say right after Christmas, December 26th, up into March. But everybody still wore them. And even after they completely outlawed them except for a few days, the idea of wearing the mask was still a very, very popular part of the culture in Venice. In fact, all of these masks have specific names that they have been given as to what they represent. Cats, animals, giraffe, here you can see, and elegant masks and simple masks, and cats and dogs and parrots. Well, each of them have specific reasons why that they've been made. Now, what makes this shop that we're at today so much more unusual than the other shops that we have talked about in Venice is that Carlos, the man who owns this shop, makes these by hand. That's right. He's a Venetian artist still at work making these masks that have been around for hundreds and yes, thousands of years. It's pretty interesting that this city gave us Marco Polo, gave us Casanova, and gave us Carlos, the mask maker. So if you're wanting a little piece of Venice, you've got to probably get one of these masks. Now, early on, they were used for citizenry to hide their actual identity. Later, they became part of Carnival, which means giving up meat. Now people use them for masquerade parties, they use them now for Halloween. But the mask, whatever reason, is still a definite part of this culture here in Venice. What I'd like to do is take you inside now and show you Carlos at work on making a mask. This is Dr. Dave Lucas reporting from right in the middle, the heart of Venice, and this idea of masks.
Va bene,
Maxi evento.
ok, arrivederci, buona serata, un buon anno.
Francia fare il Nabucco. Io ho fatto la scenografia per un Nabucco in un teatro gallo-romano che abbiamo fatto. Quando sono stato in Francia? In settembre?
No,
A agosto, fine agosto, sì. Ah, è stato bello, una bella esperienza.
Buon lavoro anche, ciao.
Grazie, arrivederci, buona serata.
Ciao, ciao. Stato dietro mi metto...
L'uomo viene altro che si è fermato un po'.
Dopo che ho parlato con mia figlia.
Credo che si è fermato un qualcuno, ma... Vedi come sono angolo sopra, tutto opaco.